going back to that white paper, it seemed like some of the focus of that was trying to come up with a way to make these organizations not so dependent on public funding. And lo and behold, there goes the public funding just in time for the opening. So how is that affecting things? How is it changing, approaching various aspects?
The arts always need, to a large extent, I mean, the formal, let me put it this way, the formal large-scale arts. I mean, there's the article that Michael Kaiser just wrote recently, and, drawing attention to the fact that throughout history, the arts have always had subsidy. I mean, it's always been corporate subsidy, whether that corporation was called the Catholic Church and you were Michelangelo, or that subsidy was, some the King of England, and there was a British composer. Arts at the large scale have always been subsidized. This idea that somehow it's a new thing, it's always gone on like that. So, the practical fact is that what we're experiencing here is no different than anywhere else in the country. I mean, yesterday on artsjournal.com, they had the article from the Miami Herald about the cuts in Miami. I mean, it is what it is.
It sounded worse than here, too.
Oh, it is.
That was across the board.
For the cuts that we're experiencing here, I went through for 2 years in Broward County. So, I thought I was escaping the frying pan, and darn, but I think it's important not to confuse short-term cuts and the cycles of arts funding with the fundamental long-term benefits that a performing arts center provides. And yes, it means that in the short term we probably have to scale back on some projects. We have to think differently about individual things, but it doesn't change the impact of a center and how it functions over the long term. All those different layers of connections that I talked about, the ways we connect with the community, that still stays. It just gets expressed a little bit differently. Maybe we don't do so many performances of one kind. Maybe we can't quite subsidize something the way we wanted to. Maybe we scale back on some kinds of advertising. Who knows? But the larger picture still stays. I mean, the short-term way of thinking about a performing arts center is the job of a performing arts center is to add value to the community through the arts. And so we're going to continue to add value. How we add value, what particular programs we use to add value in any given moment depends on what kind of resources are available, what we can earn, what we can secure in terms of public funding, what we can secure in terms of private donations. And that's going to vary. It always has.